right, so these are our words for this week's story. We are going to be doing a new set of stories, and this one's on weather. These next 3 weeks, our stories are all going to be about the weather, and in science, we're also going to be learning about the weather. So the first word we're going to talk about is tough. Say the word. Tough. Tough means if something is difficult to do or challenging, it is tough. Some puzzles are really tough to do. That means hard to do. Pellets. Say the word. Pellets. Pellets are tiny balls of something. So these are pellets of hail. So hail is a type of rain that comes down that's like ice. And these are pellets of hail. We'll be talking about that in our weather. Predict. Say the word.
Predict.
Predict means to say it will happen before it does. So weather forecasters predict what the weather is going to be. They predict what might be happening. Clings. Say the word. Clings. When something clings to something else, it sticks to it. So her hair clings to the balloon because it's static. Clings. Funnel. Say funnel. A funnel has a wide circle at the top and a short, thin tube at the bottom. So a funnel is used to separate things. So it's big at the top and small at the bottom. We'll also learn about a special cloud that's a funnel cloud. Does anyone know what the name of a funnel cloud is, Heather? Tornado. That's right. It's big at the top and small at the bottom. Occur. Say the word. Occur is when things happen or take place. So a solar eclipse happens sometimes, or can occur sometime. So occur means happens. Excess. Say excess. Excess is extra. So they're trimming the excess dough off of the pie crust. Damage. Say damage. Damage is something that has been caused harm to. So you can see that this hurricane damaged this house. So damage is something that's been harmed. A storm can damage houses. Okay, so we are going to be talking about making inferences. We've talked about this a lot already in 2nd grade. When you make inferences, you use clues to make a smart guess about something the author doesn't tell you, because the author doesn't tell us everything. So we have clues from the words and the pictures, and do you remember what it's called, the things you already have in your brain? Schema. So what you already know is your schema, plus what the words and the pictures tell me, I can make an inference, or I can make a good guess on what the author is trying to say. So we're going to talk about that as we're reading through our story today. So I want you to get out your reading books, and I want you to turn to page 103. Now this week's story is a really long story. It's 20 pages long. So tonight you'll read it at home, and you're going to do the page I'm going to give you for homework. And if it needs to take more than a day, that's okay. Y'all can bring back. You can bring home your book tomorrow too to finish your homework if you don't get it all done tonight. It's page 103. 103. Okay, this story is special. It is a nonfiction story. It's going to teach us about the weather, but it's called a narrative nonfiction, meaning it's going to teach us, but it reads like a story. It's going to have characters in it, but the characters talk and they teach us something. Now, these are birds that talk and a paper bird that talks. Well, birds don't talk, right? So it's not realistic, but it's still nonfiction because it's teaching us about weather. So it has information and facts about real topic. It has visuals, so we'll see some things like maps or diagrams with text. And it's going to help us to understand the text, those things that we see. All right, so Wild Weather by Thomas Kinsley Troop. High up along a mountain trail, a hiker sat and folded an origami bird. Now, origami is a special way to fold paper. So that's an origami bird right there. It sure is sunny, she said. As she held the bird high, there's the girl right there, a gust of wind lifted the paper. The bird began to fly. Whoa, how did it get so windy? Just then the bird spotted a duck. There's a duck flying nearby. So what makes the bird that the hiker is holding fly? What makes it fly? It's not a real bird, so it doesn't make itself fly. What made it fly, Wyatt? Okay, but what made it go up in the air? Something had to make it go up in the air, Corbin.
The air.
The air. What was special about the air today? What word do they use? It was windy. It says there's windy. So a gust of wind. It says, look right here. A gust of wind. So is a gust a light wind or a strong wind? Strong. So using my schema, I know gust is strong. So it's not just a little wind. It's a strong wind. So that's my inference. I just made an inference that that's a strong wind. Hey there. What's your name? The bird remembered the hiker had said Sunny. Sunny, I think. So she didn't say he was Sunny, right? She said it sure is Sunny. But he thought maybe that's his name, Sunny. I'm Chuck. Nice to meet you, Sunny. Say, I've got a real problem. My wife, Natasha, is missing. Uh-oh. We were trying to fly away from here. So how are Sunny and Chuck different? How are these two birds different? How are they different, Emery? One is paper and one is real. And that looks like a real photograph, doesn't it? Of a real duck. Okay, so Chuck is a real bird and Sunny's made of paper. But both birds can speak. Not really in real life, could they? But they are in the story. The text says that Chuck has a problem. His wife, Natasha, is missing. Chuck also tells Sunny that he and his wife are trying to fly away from here. I wonder why they'd want to do that. Why would he want to fly away from there? What do birds do that makes them fly away, Blaze? It's not called hibernate. Hibernate means you go under the ground and sleep. Birds don't hibernate. So you're along the right thing. They do something special when it gets cold outside. Using our schema, Isaiah.
Fly south.
They fly south. Do you know what that word is? When they fly south? Migrate. That's right. I know why they want to do that. I know that birds want to fly to a warmer place when it gets cold. I think that's the reason Chuck and his wife want to leave. So we use the words that say he's flying away from here, plus our schema that knows that birds fly to get warmer places. They migrate. That's how we know what's going on. The author did not tell us he was migrating. We had to figure that out ourselves. Okay, here's where we learn about weather. See the cool picture? It says cool air, and then warm air goes up. So the cool air rushes down underneath, and the warm air goes up. Why do you want to leave? Sunny asked. The mountain valley looked nice enough. Aren't you a bird? Most birds fly south before winter. The wind is making flying tough. Where did all this wind come from? It's simple, he said. The sun heats the land, making the air above it warm, because the warm air is at top from the sun. Cool air rushes down to take the place of the warm air. And because Earth spins, wind can come from any direction. So you think the wind carried Natasha away? Sunny asked. I hope not, Chuck cried. She was right next to me. But then she disappeared. So which thing on this picture helps you understand what causes the wind? What helps you here on this page learn about wind? Cooper? What on this page do you see that helps you learn about wind, Emma? Right, but what on this page helps you see that? Emma? What do you see on this page that helps you know how the wind works? Right, the arrows that show me the cool air comes in and the warm air goes up. Very good. Go to the next page. A drop of water struck Sunny's wing. Just what we need. It's raining. Fly underneath me, Sunny. I don't think wet paper is good for flying. Clouds and rain? How did they get here? Check out this water cycle chart. It explains how clouds form and the rain falls. Wow, that's pretty simple, really. So why does Chuck tell Sunny to fly underneath him? Why does he tell him to fly underneath him, Kate? That's right. What's going to probably happen to him if he gets wet? Yeah, he's going to fall down. He won't be light anymore. What does this help you infer about Chuck's character? He's telling him to get underneath. So what does this let you know about Chuck? What do you know about Chuck's character now that he just said, get underneath me so you don't get wet? Heather? He's smart. Xavier? He's thoughtful. That's right. He's smart and he's thoughtful. He wants to protect Sunny. So he's protective. Let's look at this picture, the water cycle. Okay, so cycle means it goes round and round. So first, water droplets combine and fall as rain. Then they go into water, and then as the sun heats the water on the ground, it turns it into invisible gas. So gas rises, cools, and then it turns into water droplets, and the water droplets come together to form a cloud. And when the cloud gets so heavy with water, it rains again. And then the sun dries up the rain, and it gets all the water vapor in it, and then it forms back into a cloud when it gets up to the cooler air at top. Then it gets heavy, and it rains again. So it's pretty easy to understand, right? We're going to be talking a lot about the water cycle. We're going to even be acting out the water cycle. All right, go to the next page. Make sure. All right, so rain is just a bunch of tiny droplets, Sunny said. That doesn't seem so bad. Normal rainstorms are fine, but thunderstorms can make lightning and heavy rain. When too much rain falls at once, a flood can form. Whoa. So how are thunderstorms different from normal rainstorms? How are thunderstorms different than normal rain? What happens in thunderstorms? Corbin? Lightning. And what else? Two things he said. Lightning and what, Sydney? Okay, yes. Thunder, yes. That's not what he said. He didn't talk about thunder. You are right, though. He said thunder and something else. Lightning and something else. Blaze? Heavy rain. That's what he said. He said lightning and heavy rain. Why does Chuck say that normal rainstorms are fine? Why would he say that normal rainstorms are fine, Chase? Right, it's not as heavy. Don't have to worry about a lightning bolt hitting you. It's just rain coming down, right? You can get somewhere safe really easily. You don't have to be super quick. Hang on, Chuck yelled. Hail is falling. So you see the hail here? Hail, Sunny chirped. What's that? Sometimes storm clouds called cumulonimbus clouds form. Water droplets in the highest part of the cloud bounce around and freeze into ice pellets. Chuck said the pellets hit water droplets and the hail gets bigger. And once the hail is too heavy, it falls, Sunny asked. You got it, Chuck shouted. Come on, let's head for the woods. So hail is like pieces of ice falling from the sky. It's not snow, it's heavy ice. It can be very hurtful. Sometimes it can be as big as a softball. That big. Most of the time it's the size of like a pea or like a quarter. A quarter can be dangerous too because it dents in things. So, how are rain and hail alike? Both of them are what? Both of them do what? How are rain and hail the same, Isaiah?
They fall.
They both fall down. They're both made out of water, right? How are they different? How are rain and hail different, Cooper? Rain is water drops and hail is what? It's frozen water, right? It's ice. That's right. Okay. So the water droplets formed on hail are in the highest part of the cloud, and it gets colder, and they start bouncing around, and they start connecting to other pieces of water, and the water freezes to them. They get bigger and bigger and bigger, and soon it gets so heavy they fall down, and they don't have time to thaw out. So why do you think Chuck wants to head for the woods? Why is he saying, let's head for the woods? Why is he saying to head for the woods? Heather? Right, neither of them, right? Even the real duck could get hurt by the hail. Okay, let me pause this and we're going to